So, starting this morning with the Irish Independent, not everything is for sale is the lead story on the back of this. New Director General Ryan keen to seek natural balance, but warns GAA can't thrive without reasonable income. So, yesterday, Tom Ryan, the new GAA Director General, sat down in front of the assembled media for about half an hour and outlined that basically he feels like the association's structures are fit for purpose. The deals that they've done are going to stand. There won't be more extra games on television, although it did strike me that the GAA have their own platforms at the moment, so that definitely leaves room for GAA now to broadcast those extra games digitally, and I think that I wouldn't be terribly surprised to see if some of those games do end up there. But he basically said the organisation is quite conservative and that's not necessarily a bad thing, and so he gave the impression that he's going to be a steady hand on the tiller. The other one is about Mourinho, that he's been backed by the board to overhaul the squad at Old Trafford, so we'll see exactly what happens there. I'll bring you this in the order that I'm supposed to do it. The Times Ireland edition: Ulster fans may boycott next match. Now, if the Ulster fans boycott if some Ulster fans boycott the next match, then, well, I don't know, those Ulster fans, so there's something rotten in the Ulster rugby culture if people are boycotting that game. And then Ryan bids to shed the tag of the money man. That's the notion there that Tom Ryan isn't just an accountant because he was an accountant. He's also the treasurer of the Fawkes Hurling Club and a coach there, and he's a Carlow GAA fan. So I think just pigeonholing him as a finance guy is wrong. As Paul Rice said yesterday, that you've got to give everybody an opportunity. The Irish Times lead story, that's their lead is the Gordon Darcy column. Resilience sets players and clubs apart. His column is about the fact that being a professional sports person is one of the best jobs in the world. I mean, it is, unless you're a boxer and you're getting punched in the head.
It's still good, even at that. I'd rather be a boxer than a rugby player taking.
Would you?
Yeah, I think so. I watch the rugby matches and I'm watching it through through my fingers because it's some of those hits are unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I think with boxing it's the same with them. It's probably conditioning, and
you get conditioned
being used to it and knowing how to take it, and what way to just brace yourself. But a lot of respect for those guys.
Taking a punch, you just have to try and roll with it. Is that the?
Yeah, just brace yourself for it, Yeah.
If you brace yourself, do you tense yourself?
Sometimes, yeah. It just depends. I think you just get there's no written there's no right way to do it. I think if you just take, you just take it. It's the one if you see it, you're fine. If you see the punch coming, you're fine. It's the one you don't see that will really hurt you.
Because you're going in the opposite direction, and it's
because it's like an unexpected. It's like when you see in a street fight someone gets hit on the sly or gets caught unawares and they get knocked out straight away. But if you can see a punch coming at you, I think you're grand. Yeah, probably like these guys as well. The same,
the tackle that they can't see. Yeah, so that's that's Gordon Darcy. Always worth reading on Match Week in particular. And then, so moving to the Examiner, the lead story there is Embrace the Expectation. This is the Munster coach who's come in the middle of the season and is now on the verge of taking his team to the Champions Cup final. Van Grant, it's all or nothing. If you fall short, there's no second place, which is, of course, true. And we have the Daily Mail. Their lead story is no TV review. New GAA boss insists the Sky TV deal will stand. And it's going to stand for the duration, which takes us all the way through to 2021. And it can't be brought up again at Congress until 2020. So he's nipping that conversation in the bud for now. And it looks like Keith Earls might be fit to start this weekend, which would be a huge boost for Munster. And then finally for me, The Guardian, Joy Neville on beating all male comers to be named World Rugby's best referee. So that's the amazing story of Joy Neville being the best referee in the world. And so congratulations to her, and we'll talk to her again real soon on the show. What have you got first?
First up is the Irish Daily Star. On the back page is Pogba crisis talks, and this is kind of across all the papers. Pogba and Mourinho at heads with each other, and I'm not sure if there's it seems to be something behind the story,
It's gone on long enough.
I wonder how much is, his lifestyle and social media, all this stuff is being used as an excuse, but you've seen him when he's been played it correctly and in the right position. He's one of the most effective midfielders in the world. Like, last week, he dominated the second half against Man City. And now this week, it's crisis talk Pogba. He's been dropped, so it's...
Yeah.
There's something amiss there. There's some
it's almost as if he's not being managed properly.
Yeah, it's just... that's it. Don't say that around radio. But, like, it just... Jeremy Cross has a bit on the inside, and he says he has company in the shape of Angel Di Maria, Memphis Depay, Luke Shaw, and Victor Lindelof, while the jury is still out on Alexis Sanchez. Like, where's he getting that from? Alexis Sanchez has been one of the most... one of the better attacking footballers. So how's the jury still out? I don't know.
He means, I presume he means at Man United, right? And it's, again, you would have to say it's the manager's responsibility to get the best out of his players. Like, that's literally his job description.
I know. Did these play, like, he's kind of overloaded in the top 3 positions. You know, it's like they can't.
The bones of the story in some of the other papers is that that Mourinho is going to be allowed to sell Pogba after this, and so then he'll be given the money that they get from selling him, and they might sell Sanchez as well because they got him for nothing, so they can make a quick 50 million profit on him.
I know.
And then suddenly they've loads of money to spend.
Where do you go? Where do you go after 2 players like that? You know, and they'll go on. Like, you see what he did when he left United already at Juventus, and you'll see what he'll do if he goes on again. It'll be even more embarrassing this time around.
At least he'll get some money back from this time. That would be the.
Also, going back to the general, Tom Ryan hints at Dublin maybe having 2 home games in the Super 8, not ruling it out when the rules state that you should have 1 home and away. But
yeah, that third game is going to be an issue. But like, if Dublin at least have 1 game out of Croker, that'd be okay.
Yeah. I like. It's interesting that across the papers again, it's about the commercial side, and obviously playing in Croke Park is the most lucrative for them. You know, so why wouldn't you? In the Herald, Keane on the mend. Keane O'Sullivan doing everything he can. Not sure when he will be back yet from shoulder surgery, but he hopes to be back by mid-July.
Did you ever have any of your shoulders, any shoulder issues?
No, very fortunate. Boxers ever have very strong shoulders. You know, most of them, it's where you get, all your work is done. So I've never had shoulders. Sometimes you get the rotator cuff.
Yeah.
Some guys have injuries with that, but for me, no.
Because once that's gone, like getting it back up to the level that it was supposed to be at. Yeah. That was one of the injuries Hay had. I think he tore a labrum at the end of last year. Yeah,
I remember there's a famous fight with Danny Williams, British heavyweight guy who actually fought beat Mike Tyson and lost to Vitaly Klitschko. But he fought a fight, and during the fight his shoulder dislocated. And he fought on and won the fight. If you just look at it, I'm sure you can Google it, Danny Williams dislocated shoulder fight. And,
that's courage.
Yeah, he did well. On to the Mirror, the lead story. I'll fight you for Fred. Mourinho looking to get into Guardiola again and pip Pep to the signature of Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk, similar to how he got Sanchez.
It's not the worst tactic. It's like, let's see who Pep Guardiola wants and let's just try and buy them.
I know, yeah. I haven't seen much of Fred. What's your assessment?
I don't know if, you assume that most of the stuff that Pep is doing at the moment, it's players who will actually be able to come in and play in the team as opposed to just puff out the squad. So,
maybe he'll replace Sanchez or Pogba.
Definitely, yeah.
This is in a couple of the papers, and I know you guys talked about it last night. Joe talked about it with Kevin. Sam Allardyce has been, trialed by fans.
Yeah.
Do you want Sam? Evan fans asked if they trust the manager and his coaches to get the best out of the team. Was it done like it's a to rate him on a scale from 0 to 10?
Yeah. I mean,
it's interesting. It's interesting. It's
giving the fans a lot of power.
Yeah.
Because if they all come back with a 3, what do? Just go, sorry. I mean, the fans have spoken.
Gives them an out, I suppose. How would you assess Sam Allardyce's time at Everton?
I'm slightly disappointed. I thought that he was going to actually have a much more significant impact than he has.
He started well and seems to have fizzled out a little bit.
They got safety straight away, and then it's hard to know if there was a full off season and a full I've bought all these players and now it's my squad and I've reshaped and I've shipped out any of the ones that I don't want. But they're not playing great football. He hasn't inspired any love from the players or the fans, and it's kind of like
he doesn't do. I guess he's so long around the game and he's such a not an abrasive character, but just, you know, he's set in his ways, and like he's not gonna change or you know, soften in any way just for Everton, I guess. You know?
Yeah.
If it was maybe, you know, City or United or Chelsea, he might be a little bit more.
I mean, they've got loads of money now.
Refined.
They do have enough money for you to be able to go out and try and buy good players who would fit a better style of football. It's like, I guess I'm biased a little bit towards that brief time that he had at Bolton, where he signed a bunch of very good footballers like
AJ Okocha
and Eoin Campo. Yeah, they played really good football for a while.
Yeah,
like,
they were great too.
You know, and so if I felt like maybe with the money and the setup at Everton, he could replicate a bit of that.
Well, you had Kevin Nolan.
But I'm surprised he hasn't managed to somehow dig Kevin Nolan out again.
On to the Sun, lead story. I won't take off. Pogba is on the plane to Bournemouth and says he wants to stay. And in some of the other papers, they're saying that he's been talking to Michael Carrick and David De Gea, and they're trying to
convince him
or curb his ways, or, you know,
Right.
tell him to the media, social media stuff. And I don't know what the big deal is. You know, he's a young guy. Like that's the world. It's a generational thing, and I think, you know, going forward, that'll be the way of most footballers. You know,
it seemed like Man United actually wanted that as well, because it was a way for them to reach new fans by signing him and having his social media presence.
Pogback, remember that? Hashtag Pogback. He had his own emoji and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. Also, AJI's Wilder double, the story kind of going around the place that they won 2 fights against Deontay Wilder.
Why is this a conversation?
I guess for boxing reasons, it will be a guarantee that if he loses, they'll get a rematch and a chance. But it's also business in terms of the money that they'll set to earn.
Yeah.
And it's been touted around. You know, Eddie Hearn's been saying we're going to pay him 8 million or just over that, £8 million. We've offered Wilder £8 million. They think the fight will do around maybe 40 million. You know, and that would be a good percentage of that. But like, I think it's all he's negotiating in the media. He's using the media as a negotiating tool and a bargaining tool just to get Wilder to accept. They'll probably end up paying him something like 10 million, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
And that's fair enough for somebody.
I think so. But I think what Wilder would want is a share of the revenue.
Yeah.
You know, the pay-per-view and the gate, and not have by having a set fee, a set purse. Of course, you get a guarantee. Yeah. But there's no. This will be a huge fight, and I think it'll do bigger than it'll probably be the biggest fight in history in terms of money. I think it'll outdo Pacquiao and Mayweather. You know, I think. Right. I think like Anthony Joshua is a big star in the United States. People are definitely aware of him.
Yeah.
But
didn't Floyd Mayweather make about 200 quid from that fight?
200 quid?
200 million?
Yeah, I know, but it'll be. I guess it's all in the negotiation and the deal you work out for yourself. You know, there's no, like, I think there's, well, I don't know if there's nothing better, but Al Heyman has a reputation as being very strong for his fighters who manages Deontay Wilder, and the first thing someone ever said to me about Al Heyman was that he gets you paid. Yeah. And I'm sure, you know, all this posturing by Eddie Hearn and using the media and all these videos that he does saying, you know, this is what we're paying, this more than you've ever been paid before. Yeah, but who cares? It doesn't mean nothing. I think when it comes to the table, the serious work will be done, and Al Heyman will be fully aware of what the revenue will be, you know, in terms of across the board, in terms of pay-per-view, stadium, live gate, the TV. So
this will be a fight in the UK.
They're talking about doing it in Wembley before the weather turns, so obviously maybe before September. Yeah. Summertime, SummerSlam in Wembley. Yeah,
that'd be good. Like an August fight in Wembley.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
And a rematch in Vegas?
And a rematch in Vegas, yeah. Okay. Maybe before the end of the year.
December, perfect.
Yeah, early next year. So, we'll see. It'll be great for boxing if it does happen.
It doesn't feel like Anthony Joshua would hammer Deontay Wilder after the last fight that we've seen.
Well, the last 2 fights, I think it's kind of... And I think it's just, I guess, a sobering kind of realisation, not a reality check for the AJ fans, you know, I guess, because up to that point he'd steamrolled everybody, just purely dominated them and blasted them out of there. And against Takam and against Parker, looked a little unsure, looked a little little cautious, I would say. You know, understandably in some ways, the fact that he was winning the fights comfortably, but never extended himself to knock them out or to go.
Yeah.
You know, by boxing within himself, not taking any risk, not entertained, not looking as dominant or as explosive, but winning the fights and winning them convincingly. And but still, I could see he was trying to weigh that up in his mind as he was fighting. Should I definitely against Parker? Should I go all out, or should I just box conservatively here? And then when Parker rushed him and attacked him, he kind of looked disorganized, you know. And I think, to me, I think Wilder has a serious fight, a serious chance of winning the fight, because Anthony Joshua is very robust, very rigid in his style, and it's very much boxing by the numbers. It's very like jab, 1-2, hook. It's keeping very structured and there's nothing kind of improvised or kind of done wildly. You know, if a fight broke out, like when Parker rushed Joshua in the last fight, and he kind of got disorganized. He rushed him, made him disorganized, and he kind of looked a little bit lost. Yeah. And there's nobody more wild or unorganized. When you fight somebody with that rigid style, that's what you need to beat them, than Deontay Wilder. Right. Like, sometimes I don't think he knows what he's doing half the time, but it works. You know, he's just kind of an instinctual fighter, and he throws punches from different angles. Not kind of punches that you'd be used to seeing, kind of overhand punches, and especially for someone of that size. And he's a concussive puncher too. So I think it's very. I would slightly favour Wilder. If I was a betting man, I would favour Wilder.
This should happen now, really, because either of them could lose a fight at any point now. So that, like,
yeah, well, why wait as well? But why wait? Because in the waiting, if they have another fight, like we've seen, has this fight lost a little bit of its allure because Joshua didn't look so good? Yeah. So if they have another fight each, and like Josh was coming off 2 good wins, although he didn't look great, and up to that point, like all of his previous fights, so he still has that momentum. Yeah. And Wilder's coming off a career best victory, I believe, against Luis Ortiz. So now in the waiting, the fight doesn't grow. Like, people aren't going to want it any more than they want it right now. Yeah,
so let's get it on and see what happens.
Yeah, let's get it on.
And see how much Al Heyman can make for his man. Last
couple of... No, there's just the Racing Post cue card has retired. Why we all adore him. There's tributes to him, and there's not much else going on, you know. On the back, I guess this is more for your betting, picking cherries that United can bounce back against Bournemouth. They're tipping United to beat Bournemouth tonight, 7:45 kickoff, and a few bits in the Telegraph. Harry Kane, never in doubt. No need for Kane to appeal. This time his 26th goal moves him closer to Salah, race for the Golden Boot. So that's what did you think about that, Harry Kane
stealing the goal?
Did he touch it?
It's not a great look, is it? Like, stealing goals from your teammates and swearing on your daughter's life.
I think that was just a little bit like I kind of forgot himself, but it was actually a little bit more like the real Harry Kane. I guess the real person behind it. You know, it's not like you know, it just kind of came off. You know, it just kind of rolled off the tongue, I guess. You know, it's
too
more
young
like,
for me to really know her that well.
Yeah, but he better have touched it now after swearing on his daughter's life.
Yeah.